welcome to another Happy Pod, the only podcast in the world. My name is Nathan. I am the host of this podcast. I'm back from holiday and I'm extremely fucking depressed. I'm joined by my co-host. His name is Lawrence Thomas High C, but no one cares what he has to say unless he's telling us about what this silly little show is.
Nathan, this is the show where we get together, we talk about pop culture, we talk about movies, games, television shows, and we try and keep it positive and fun and charming, much like I'm being right now. We don't know... I'm not going to...
We would avoid the toxic discourse, you might say.
That's funny, because that's exactly what I was about to say.
Well, You didn't, did you? So, Lawrence, we're back. We never left, but we're back.
Oh, we definitely left, though. In our lived experience, we left.
In our heart of hearts, we left. But in the world of podcasting, much like something annoying, we are an ever-present annoying presence. I don't know what I'm saying.
Asbestos.
Sure. Like a British school, we are the asbestos in the ceiling. Just always lingering about. That's us, baby.
Just there, ready to poison you.
just slowly driving you insane and slowly poisoning your mind over many years. That's this podcast.
That was in my primary school, and the amount of people that were like, "Don't touch that; it's asbestos; it could poison you." I'm like, then should it still be here?
Yeah.
Like, why are we still debating this? Shouldn't it be removed by someone?
It probably should have. Where have you gone?
Where have I gone?
Yeah, where have you gone?
I'm right here.
Well, you're frozen. I can hear you, but your image is frozen.
That's my dog shit internet. Just ignore that.
Oh, you're back. Hello.
Hello.
There you are.
I was actually just stood still for a solid 30 seconds there, trying to trick you.
It was quite impressive that you was able to talk without moving your mouth at all.
Thank you. It's a talent I've been working on. But Nathan, how was Greece?
It was great. It was good. It was very, very drunk. Well, I was drunk.
Very good. Was it mojitos in the end?
It was some mojitos, some Cuba Libres, some sex on the beach, and then I had a cocktail.
and then you
No, I was very much alone. And it was a great time.
What was the most adventurous thing you did out in the Greek Isles?
I really didn't do anything adventurous.
No, but right, adventurous based on like regular life. Did you have a little dip in the pool, a trip to the spa, endless days in your chaise?
I had a little dip in the ocean, as it were. Much like Cassandra of Kefalonia, I too braved the Greek Ocean.
That's so niche.
I know. It's not that niche, but yeah, a little niche, I guess.
It's true. I don't know if you actually said this on air. I don't know if I kept it in the edit. I don't know what happened there. But you were planning on reading all 4 Hunger Games books while you were away in Greece. Did that happen?
I don't think I did say it on air, but after we recorded the last podcast, I decided I'm going to purchase all 4 Hunger Games books. And I'll read them whilst I'm on holiday. And you know full well the answer to this question, because I've already told you, you dickhead. You're just setting me up for a fun little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit,
yeah. No, Lawrence, I did not read them. I was a little ambitious with my plans. Turns out when you're all-inclusive and drinking all day long, reading is not... it's not that easy, really. So I
imagine paying like multiple thousands to go and be a nerd somewhere.
Look, I enjoyed the few chapters of the first book that I read. It's great, and they're good books. I love them. I've read them before, as I mentioned. Not the final one. I will. I think I'll carry on though and read the series, because I do want to read that final one before I see the movie. But yeah, no, I didn't read them. Is the answer to that question?
Fair enough. But also,
reread them, I should say.
You'd read them before.
Yes,
but you'd never these. I forgot this. You've said it multiple times. Is this the one? Are these? We're doing 2 of them together, by the way. We're
doing the final
part 1 and 2.
It's one movie, kind of. It's just
one really long movie.
Yeah, one very long movie. And it kind of breaks in the middle. Look, I've seen them now. I had definitely not seen part 2. Okay. Definitely not seen part 2. When I was watching part 1, I was like, have I seen this? I don't know. I couldn't remember.
But have I just seen it on YouTube?
Exactly. See, that's it. I might have just watched a TikTok one time. Like, I don't know. Like when there was, the little song bit, like, are you coming
yeah.
to this? I'd definitely seen that. And I knew
Yeah.
the song. So, like, that was in my mind. I'm not sure, but I've seen them both now. So so now I can say for certain I have seen the Hunger Games quadrilogy.
We had a Hunger Games break while Nathan was on holiday. We haven't recorded for about 2 weeks.
Yes.
I was worried jumping straight back into Mockingjay Part 1. Like, am I still going to be like it? Because the end of Catching Fire had me like, yeah, fuck yeah, the revolution, let's go.
Yeah.
I was worried I wasn't going to be in that headspace. It took the movie all of like 5 seconds to make me like, oh yeah, no, I'm back in this. Let's overthrow the Capitol. Let's go.
Interesting. For me, it was a slow start.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because like for me, it was like, end of Mockingjay Part 2 was like, revolution, let's fucking go. And then Mockingjay starts and it's like, revolution, let's go. Maybe it's just all trauma and shit for like the first part of the movie, which is fine. Like, that's a good story. That's fine to tell, but it's not just like, fuck yeah, let's kill the Capitol and shit. Like, it takes a while to get to that stuff.
I think you're right. Like the vibes are noticeably like just sad. Like, yeah, you're right. It goes from very much a case of like the revolution's been cooking for some time, Katniss. Like, welcome to the fight, and then she gets there and it's like, well, actually, we got to go ask the boss if we can do a fight.
There's politics and semantics and procedures and all this sort of stuff to adhere to.
It's not wasted time. It ends up being incredibly relevant to like how the story of the two movies plays out. The thing that got me back on board immediately was like one of the line directly before it cuts to like the solemn white text, black backgrounds title card was like Sam Claflin just being like, I wish Annie was dead. I wish Annie was dead rather than in the Capitol.
Can you use character names?
Oh, yeah, Finnick.
Okay, thank you.
We had a whole thing about Sam
Lawrence,
Claflin.
I cannot remember the last time we spoke, okay? I have had several 1,000 litres of cocktails forced into my system during that time, okay? I cannot possibly remember anything that was said. Just refer to him as Finnick. Okay.
Right, but when we're gonna get to like Philip Seymour Hoffman and Mahershala Ali. I don't know their names.
I know who Mahershala Ali and Philip Seymour Hoffman are. You can refer to them as Mahershala Ali and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't know Sam Claflin. All right, I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
You should know him.
I know Finnick. All right.
All right, fine. I'm just saying now that you've got to know Finnick, maybe it's time to give Sam Claflin a chance. All right. He deserves better than his current career trajectory.
Well, no, is what I say.
Okay, good. Also, quick correction on the last episode.
Ooh, you press the correction button.
I did. No, press the holding ourselves accountable sound effect. That's the one I want.
All right, yeah, I'll press that right now.
Very good. We were speculating about like how long the Resistance has been going for. We were like, has this been cooking this whole time and all of this?
Yeah.
Maybe not so necessarily a correction, but more just like we're immediately got our answer because they've been established since the District 13 evisceration. Like since District 13 got bombed, they were just like, let's go underground and make a sneaky military. Basically, was what was happening all that time.
Which was a while ago.
Yeah, they definitely said it in like. Yeah. I mean, here's us taking the piss because in the Hunger Games episode we were like, "There's too much setup." They tell us the story of the Hunger Games and how it all started like 5 times, and now we can't remember it. So
they do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it was a while ago. But yeah, so the main thing is like Katniss is just like, I'm not vibing with this, right? I don't want to do this, and so Philip Seymour Hoffman is like, let's traumatize her real quick.
Yeah.
Let's fire her back up a bit. So they take her to District 12, which I do have to say is kind of like that scene hit me.
Well, isn't it? I was going to say, before she goes to 12, is the reason she goes to 12, isn't it because Philip Seymour Hoffman wants to make her a propaganda star and shit like that? They want her to be the fucking face of the revolution, the little puppet that they can to inspire people to join the cause.
Yeah, and I think she's isn't her like thought process behind it like they needed to remind her who the actual enemy was rather than.
Yeah, exactly. She's
pissed off with them because they didn't get all of the victors out of the game.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we can't, we're not magic. You got to come and see this. This shit's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you make of the whole scene when she goes back to 12 and you kind of get her walking around?
Pretty fucking rough.
It's very rough.
It's pretty rough. The whole place has been fucking just eviscerated, basically. It's all rubble apart from Victor's village. Everything else is just rocks and skulls and corpses and everything like that. And is it the moment? Is it this part in 12 where she's standing on a child's skull at one point? Is that the 12 moment?
Yeah, so that's her walking. She's walking through it.
Yeah.
And like I think she's kind of like head up and looking at like a lot of the devastation on the buildings. And then she hears a crunch, looks down. It's a child's skull. And then as she gets over this mound, she realizes she's actually effectively been walking on fucking charred corpses and shit.
There's just a whole fucking street of just bones, basically, which is pretty grim.
Yeah.
Pretty grim. Not nice at all.
It puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Because like last week we were like, I can't believe they're just executing people on the street, and it's like now they're just bombing entire cities. Like it's fucking rough. It's like this is what I'm saying about how the movie immediately got me back on side and was just like, oh yeah, I don't like these guys. I want them to face some comeuppance. All bombed apart from the cat. Managed to escape unscathed and then
that's what I said. Victor's village wasn't bombed.
Yeah.
So like. And I feel like that's very intentional because, like, these people are okay. You're fuck District 12, but as a message to Katniss or whatever, we'll keep Victor's village, like alive and stuff. The cat. I'll talk about the cat a little bit more later. I got to say about the cat, but.
Well, we can't even discuss the cat going in the bag.
No, we can. It's just I have more to say later about the cat.
I have more to say about the cat later too. We'll sync up points and see.
Great, yeah. I'm sure we'll have plenty to say about the cat.
We'll see who has the better critical analysis of the cat.
It's a different cat from the first movie, by the way. The cat in the first movie, it was like a kind of like black and white fur, and now it's just a ginger cat. So
it's a very fluffy cat. I like that cat. It seemed very like happy to just be there. You know, some cats are like proper skittish and weird. If you go near them, they're like, no, fuck that.
Well, the cat is like that with Katniss. The cat hates Katniss, and Katniss hates the cat.
Yeah. No, she's eating fucking cups at it and stuff in the second one, and it's like,
Lawrence, this is all stuff I'm going to say later about the cat. All right.
I just want to talk about the cat. Fine.
I've read the books. I know more about the cat than you.
God damn it. Okay. Why was there cat lore in the books?
There is cat lore in the books. Yes.
Fine. Then we will wait. All right. Yeah. So there's a scene where I think it's showing what Katniss is inspiring just since leaving the games. They think they catch her up to speed, and they're like, look, you're pissed off. This has all been happening since. Like, you've been asleep or resting or recovering or whatever. And then you get, like, Snow talking about it. And it's just, like, I don't know what it is about, like, President Snow, but, like, the minor little details for him to be, like, he's like, pondering over breakfast, like, what word he should use to describe the rebels in the newspapers. Like, he's just, like, down to a fine fucking pin is he, like, tactically weaving his way through this entire war. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very... He lands on, like, criminals and radicals as opposed to rebels. And he's like, yeah, don't glorify it. They're radicals. They should be painted as, like, terrorists and stuff.
Rebels make them sound like heroes.
Yeah.
Which they are, really. So, yeah.
Yeah, but he knows that as well. He can't admit that.
Yeah, exactly. He's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. Like,
Yeah, it's good. It's I don't know, I just like it. I think it adds to it's a really scary kind of component to him that it's just like and you get this throughout the rest of these two movies as well. He is just a master tactician. Like I get that he like fumbles certain things.
I don't know if you get it throughout the two movies. Do
you not think?
You get it throughout this one. And then you get a bit of it in the second one, and then I don't know, he just kind of starts falling asleep at his desk and shit, and then everything starts going wrong. But
I forgot about that. That caught me by surprise, to be fair, when it was like, oh yeah, he's ill. What's he bothering with all this? Man, kick your feet up.
Well,
I think he probably wants to outlive them before he gets trampled to death, I suppose.
Yeah. What happens next, Lawrence?
What happens next is Katniss has the same nightmare. She like. It's almost like a reimagining of the scene. I can't remember what movie it's in. It's either the first or the second. I think it's the first, where Katniss wakes up in the middle of a nightmare, and
it's
Peter.
The second one.
Yeah, and then Peter.
He was wrong.
Fine.
I just want to make it clear.
Fine. But yeah.
I'll say he was wrong.
Okay, fine. Shut up.
Say he was wrong.
Oh, I was wrong.
Thank you.
But yeah, they kind of recreate it for like a second time. And I don't know. I think my read on that is that like we were kind of talking about it last week, but I think that's a pretty clear, like the movie informing us that like this affection, this love, this bond between, at least on Katniss's side, is purely trauma based. Like she dreams of him.
Yes. What a finish point.
Well, it's like the nightmare she had about the Hunger Games and everything like that, and then she has nightmares, and then the real life scenario where Peter actually was there to comfort her. She then dreams that scenario again, but in like she's moved forward. She's in a different location. She's in District 13 when she imagines Peter in this new setting.
She's dreaming of trauma, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
She's dreaming of being comforted from trauma.
Yeah, essentially. And I think it's just a way of the movie expressing that, like, when she pictures this affection, it always comes part and parcel with this stuff and Peter's relationship to it, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a happy, comforting moment. It's a comforting moment because she's upset from this traumatic thing.
I don't know if that's how I would necessarily read it. I mean, what you're saying isn't wrong, but I feel like what you're implying is wrong. I feel like you're kind of saying, or this is what I'm getting anyway. This is the connotations of what you're saying. It's kind of like lesser than, not real, pretty bad because it's trauma based, because it's born out of trauma. Then that kind of makes it, shall we say, problematic, as it were. Which I don't necessarily think is the case.
I don't necessarily think it's lesser than. I just think it's like, I think it's a way of showing us that like without this, and I know maybe this sounds a bit redundant, but like without these shared experiences, there wouldn't be this bond between them. I don't think under normal circumstances Katniss would feel the way for Peter as she does without all of this.
That's how they met.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't like, but like, if she were to meet him under other circumstances without this trauma, I think she wouldn't be interested in the slightest.
First of all, she has met him. She already met him when he threw that bread in the mud. Kind of.
Yeah.
And what is love apart from fucking shared experience? That's all it is. Tim Minchin has a great song called "If I Didn't Have You," which is a song that he wrote about his wife, and it's basically it's just a song where he basically goes, if I didn't have you, my wife, this woman I love very, very much, then I would probably have someone else who I would love just as much, because that's what love is. It's just shared experience. You're not suddenly destined to meet someone and then fall in love and it's them and only them and they are your one soulmate and everything like that. It's meeting someone and growing with them and learning and getting to know them, and it grows stronger over time and your shared experiences together. So whilst that is the initial catalyst for this romance, for this love,
yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily say that that's its definition, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So it's capable of kind of progressing beyond that. It's just because,
and I think it does. I think the first two movies, I was never sure about. What are we calling this about Katniss? What do we call cat piss? No, that's not right.
Cat piss?
No, that's not right. Yeah. What Patniss?
Penis.
No, Patniss. Penis. No, fuck.
It is. It's penis.
No, it's not. We can't have that.
The ship name is Penis.
No, I'm gonna look it up. There has to be an official ship name. Everlark. There you are.
That is dreadful.
How is that dreadful?
You don't use surnames in the ships, do you?
Yeah, you do.
Really?
You can use whatever you want, Lawrence, as long as it works and it catches on. That's what you use.
I think penis would have had a better chance.
No, it obviously wouldn't.
Well, I mean, I think it would have caught on better. It would have been more outrageous. All right, one thing that I did want to talk about is this kind of like a really, really interesting component to the series that, like, in other kind of like things like this, like teen dystopia kind of movies, like what's this genre called? Like officially, what's the name for it?
YA.
That's it. Yeah, YA. They're normally like the protagonist is normally like proper. I know that Katniss is in it for the cause, but like the revolution that she's leading, she's not really. I feel like she's the head for it, but she never really feels like she's in it. Like it's always seems like conditional and transactional. Like she has to ask for certain pardons to be made, where like other protagonists in different YA stuff would often just be like, "Can I have this?" And they'd be like, "Of course you can. You're our favorite person," or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Not at all.
Well, what are you saying?
Well, like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that, like, wanting to overthrow the Capitol, right? That's their end goal, both of, like, the revolution and Katniss. But they, as the movie obviously goes on and it makes a point of it, it's like they obviously don't hold the same values. Like, they don't, like...
I feel like Katniss is very much, not necessarily a reluctant hero, but reluctant in the process. I mean, Coin and 13 want to do things a certain way, and they have different ideas about what can, like, you know, right from the beginning, they're like, yeah, let's make propaganda, let's film fucking weird CGI clips and put you on a green screen and do all this stuff with you. And Katniss just wants to fucking walk into the Capitol and shoot an arrow directly into snow. That's like she's for the cause, but she wants to do the cause. The problem is they won't let her do the cause. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they have their own ideas about how she can be useful and what she can do for them, basically. Which is why it's frustrating for her, and it's definitely not exactly what she's here for, really.
I think they do a good job of keeping it consistent. Like the one thing we've said in all of these episodes as well is that Katniss, like, her thing is not playing the game. Her thing is just getting shit done. And so I like that carries over. I'm a big fan of when a really talented actor has to pretend to be a really bad one. As the part, I love that scene of just like Katniss being like, "This is District 12. Let's rise up." And it's like, it takes a good actor to pretend to really be trying, but still be bad, if that makes sense.
I am the Mockingjay. Stand with me as we fight against the Capitol.
And you just like everyone looking around as they show that like promo, and like they're all just looking at Katniss as like, you couldn't have turned it up a little bit for this, not at all.
Well, she's not an actress.
No, she's not. I like that about her. I think it's good.
Yeah. It's a good scene. I want to know what District 13's VFX budget is, and I want to know who's doing this. Who's the editor? Who's the VFX team? I want to see them hard at work, because they got the graphics from the trailers and from the movie. Like they do. There's full on just a title card from the trailer at one point where it's like it's the Mockingjay logo and it's like, join the fight, head to hungergames.com to find out more or whatever.
Yeah, and,
like,
and they've just crossed out where it says "and book your tickets today."
Yeah, it might as well have just left it in, really.
I did pick up on that, but I don't know. It didn't pull me out of it too much, but it was a little bit like, oh, that's the font, that's the thing. It can be a bit hard to swallow as well, considering that they're like, look at all these people that they bombed that the movie wants you to take seriously, and then it's like, look at the font, we used the same one. That's Jeffrey Wright. Surely is the editor on scene.
Is he just doing every technical job in the fucking building?
Yeah, of course he is. But that's what the techie ones do, isn't it? Like,
he's hacking security, he's weapons manufacturing, he's VFX editor and producer now as well.
Yeah, but you know when like boomers put a job description out for their, like, I don't know, their estate agency business, and they're like, I need a videographer, an editor, a fucking, I don't know, all of this, a director, a cinematographer, a lighting person, like, the job descriptions may as well be computer, because it's like, you got to do everything on this computer that we need done on a computer.
I always find it funny how, like, when there's like a movie or a TV show, and in that TV show there's an element which is about like making a movie, making a TV show, just filming something, how like inaccurate it is and how like shit it is, because like, you know what you're doing. You're doing it.
Like, yeah, you're the ones making this stuff.
Yeah, and it's always just Well, that's not necessarily how it goes, but obviously, like, that's like they know that though. Like,
I think it comes down to like what will most general audiences care about, because people
Exactly.
don't watch these films like we watch these films.
yeah, that's very true. They're not like, well, where was the best boy on this day? Where was
Yeah.
the gaffer to set up the lights?
My dad's not going to be watching this and being like, hang on, that's the same font as the trailer.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
normal people don't notice this stuff.
Where are the microphones?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goodness sake. All right. Well, speaking of like camera and like, you know, people making a movie in a movie.
Yeah.
What do you think about the additions of Natalie Dormer and her film crew?
All right. Love Natalie Dormer. Natalie Dormer's great.
Yeah.
She's a very beautiful lady. She's even more beautiful with half her head shaved. She looks great. Foggy fucking Nelson, man. This fucking guy. This fucking piece of shit, man.
Leave him alone.
My God, I almost switched off my TV.
At least he can't talk in this. Was that easier to swallow for you?
That was something, at least. At least I didn't have to deal with any fucking horrendous monologues from him.
About
Fucking
overthrowing the corrupt police or something, yeah.
Don't get me started. He's not a good actor, and I don't like him.
I think he's a fine actor. I think he's...
I think he is awful. And that might be heresy for some people listening. I don't care. I don't like him. He's bad.
What episode was it the 2003 Daredevil episode that you went off on this?
I don't think I've ever fully gone off on this.
I think this is mostly just me and you know that you do this.
Yeah, I don't like him. He's not a good fucking Nelson. He's not a good anything. All right.
You don't think he's a good is it Pollock in this?
I don't fucking know his name. He just stands there with a camera.
I think he's good. He's a nice little addition.
And his camera's a fucking helmet, so he don't even do much. He just walks around, basically.
No, come on now. Some cameras have to be operated by their helmets, and they're good. He's good at it. Leave him alone.
He's not good at it. He just wears a helmet.
I do.
Fucking spoiler alert, but like in Hunger Games, in the fucking second one, when they're all going through the Capitol, and like they fucking managed to get out of the tunnels, I was like, fucking, this guy survived? Really? Fuck's sake, man.
He's wiry. He gets in and out of stuff. His cameramen are nimble, man. They're flexible, like more than you would assume.
There was a clear point which would have been a great setup for him to be killed, and they never did it. They're cowards, and frankly, I don't know. He shouldn't have been in the movie. Get rid of him.
Fine. All right. Well, your vendetta. Yeah, he does survive the whole way, doesn't he? I think
He does. Yeah.
I bet that was hell for you. Every action sequence, you're like, just fucking off him. Get rid of him.
Yeah. I don't like him.
Fair enough. But what do you think of the inclusion of they bring along a camera crew? Like, what do you make of all of that kind of plot line going on?
It's frustrating, really, because like it's. I don't know. I feel Candace's frustration because, like I say, she literally just wants to fucking fight in the war, and they're like, "Oh no, but you know, this is a game. We gotta fucking inspire the people. We gotta make these movies, these little silly videos, and you'll be a hero, but not actually. You know, it's all pretend. It's all just silly little make believe and stuff, and it's." I don't know. It's just very frustrating, and I don't like it. But that's kind of the point of it, though. Really.
Yeah, it's definitely there to like show how like increasingly frustrated she's getting with like the whole kind of politics of it all. Like the fact that she just wants to get in and get done, and they're like, we need to build up enough momentum so that you don't die on the way out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's a nice like alternative to they keep calling them like the propos and stuff of like, because Katniss isn't charismatic, she's just a good person, and like Haymitch has got a great scene about like think about a moment where you've been watching Katniss and she's moved you. It's when she's just compelled to be a good person, and I like that they like include a director that is like, she was there, like she's not been like ordered there, she's there because she wanted to be there. So it's like someone with a passion for what she's kind of capturing, and with like enough intelligence to capture it in a way that isn't like, okay, now kneel up and you're holding a big CGI flag with the new Resistance logo on it or something. I don't know. I like it. I would prefer it if they gave Natalie Dormer a bit, like maybe a little bit more interesting things to say. A lot of the time I feel like she's like, and how does that feel, Katniss? Rather than actually directing any specific thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, this isn't a movie for directors, Lawrence. You and all your mates can't watch this and talk about the mise en scène of the moment or whatever.
No, I'm saying like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of cliche director tropes in there for her character. Like she walks around and she does like the whole, you know, like the gesture or with your hands to like frame up a shot there, and it's very like, oh yeah, okay. I don't know. I love the idea. I wish they kind of did it a bit better, but I do still like it in the movie.
That's the only way you can get across to the audience that you're making a movie. Is if you do the little hands thing.
It's true, yeah. Like
you gotta do the little finger frame.
The two right angle finger frame, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta frame it, and then suddenly you're like, oh, he's making the movie. No, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it makes sense now. Makes sense. But yeah, no, I just I like it. It's a good little thing. I like what Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is up to in this.
What is he up to? Tell me.
He's up to, well, we spoke about it last week as well. He's playing, albeit for a different side now, literally. He's now playing 4D chess for the side that he was always secretly working for, but out in the open. I don't know. I just think there's an interesting element of his character where like he's been undercover for, I guess, an undisclosed amount of time, but enough time to be trusted by President Snow to quite a crucial degree. His whole thing is about like how to sell a dictator, basically, and how to reap fear. And seeing him use those talents and now trying to spur on a revolution and be on the other side, there's an interesting component to like how we spoke about this again last week, but like he does bad shit to do good things, and I like that element of his character, and I think it's interesting now that he's out in the open, and just to kind of watch that juxtaposition of how he wants to do things but how they come across.
You say he's out in the open, but he's still not really. He's still playing things very close to his chest, and he's not like, yes, this is who I am and this is the side I'm playing. He's still a little bit sneaky.
Yeah, but that's the nature of his character in general, though. He's always got a fool guy, hasn't he? He's always got, like, someone to be blamed before him.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know he wasn't on board with all of Coin's decisions, but, like, he sat by and let a lot of them happen. And, like, I don't know, you have to assume, like, stuff happens in part 2 that you have to assume he would have had some knowledge of.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I just think he's a very interesting character, and a lot of people in the room are very quick to be like, yeah, good guy. You know, doesn't always play by the rules, but he's a good guy. I'm like, I don't know if he is a good guy. I think he's doing stuff for the right reasons, but that doesn't make you a good person. I'm not sure about him, but yeah.
I agree.
Is Josh Hutcherson's face CGI'd?
Yeah. Well, not initially.
Yeah.
When it's pretty normal when he first appears on the Caesar Flickerman interviews and stuff. But I think it's just to show like basically what the Capitol are doing to him, basically, and he's skinny. He's like very skinny by the end of it, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a lot thinner. He just looks generally unwell. And yeah, there is a kind of uncanny valley nature to him because he is CGI'd and shit. So yeah.
It does. It works quite nicely, I think. It's like, because I couldn't tell if they'd maybe done like, you know how like some people like contour their cheeks to make them look a bit more gaunt, but it did feel just that little bit off.
Yeah. It's very off. I don't know if it's necessarily intentional or just a bit bad CGI, but it's an unsettling look. He doesn't look well, really, which is weird because, like, I don't know, the Capitol are trying to make him like, oh look, he's our boy.
Yeah, that's the thing that I like about this. The brazen balls for him to be like, so openly and obviously malnourished.
Yeah.
And to like put him on the happy talk show time, like with Caesar Flickerman, and he's like, what do we think about Katniss? And he's like, she sucks. She's the worst. And his like eyes are bloodshot red.
Well, maybe maybe the Capitol can sell it as like, oh, he's so worried about like Katniss and he just wants her to stop what she's doing, that he's not eating right at the moment, he's not feeling well and stuff. So maybe there's that angle, which they didn't mention. So
no, but then everyone is on both sides. There's a whole even subplot about it going on in the movie, how you're only let in to the extent that they want you to be let in on. Like, Peter only gets to see certain things. For Peter to even know Katniss is still out there and alive, they have to like break through a lot of security to show a transmission or something.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, no, it's cool stuff. I really, really like the sequence where Katniss is singing, and the kind of it transitions into this more kind of orchestral version of the song, and like the civilians just like taking out the dam, the outpost by the dam with all the peacekeepers. What's the name of that? Do you know the name of that song?
No. Hanging Tree?
Something like that, yeah.
Everyone knows the song. You know the song.
Yeah. We're not going to sing it. You can sing it. you know the song.
Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man. They say who murdered three. Strange things will happen, and a stranger will it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Stop singing. There's the delay, and it was so frustrating.
I know, but I wanted it to be. I'll line us up in post, and we can harmonise, and it will be beautiful.
Well, that doesn't help me now, though, does it?
No, but this isn't for us, Nathan. This is a show.
Well, I'll mute you, and then I'll sing. Are you?
I can't tell if he's muting me or not.
Coming to the tree. They strung up a man. They say he murdered three. Strange things will happen, and a stranger will it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. There we go. I've unmuted you.
Thank you very much. I was singing along for a little bit.
Great.
But yeah. Yeah, I really, really like that scene. I just think it starts off such a nice moment.
No, it doesn't.
No, not a nice moment.
No, it starts off horrible because you got a horrible actor being like, "Hey, can you sing?" And she's like, "Maybe, dickhead."
That's nice. It's a good scene.
No.
Right,
Hey, you know how we just walked about your village and on the corpses of your friends and family? Why don't you sing us a lovely little song?
No,
Fuck out of here, Foggy.
No, he knows what he's doing. He's a cameraman, but he's taking on a little assistant director role, and he's like,
he doesn't know shit.
He's like, I'm going to get some good coverage here. Natalie Dormer.
It's a great scene. I really enjoy it. I love the fucking attack on the hydro dam, and just the way that like the way the fucking civilians just run into bullets. Like, they fucking know they're gonna die, and they just straight up fucking go for it because it's better than what life has become for them, really. It's a fucking great scene. One of the best scenes of the movie, I think, really.
I think so. And it's shot really, like, it has this cinematic quality to it that is like...
Well, yeah, it's a cinema movie.
No, but like it's a little bit elevated. Like you've got the slightly more experimental shots of like the gunfire reflected off the peacekeepers' helmets, and like in the rain, it just looks lovely. And it's like I don't know, paired with the music, it's like, even though they're dying and they're being like slaughtered, it's victorious for them. It's defiant moment, and it's like a relay. Like, one falls and the other one just gets straight back up and picks it up. And it's like, it's really, really good. Great moment. Really, really likes the scene. My next note is about the cat, but do you want to go about the cat?
Oh, I don't have anything to say about the cat until part 2.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I think there's some cat stuff in when the bombers approach District 13 and they kind of realize, bunkering down for the long night in the bunker is probably the safest course of action. There's the smart decision to like pull in all of the turrets and stuff like that, so that they just don't know where the weak points are, so that they can outlast a bomb or many bombs. But in like just kind of everyone waiting around, there's that scene where Katniss is like toying with the cat and she's like using the flashlight.
Yeah.
And I know she says later on about like kind of it being a metaphor for like snow puppeting them and stuff like that. But I just think it's such a really, I don't know. I just think you like everyone understood it, and that's like a testament to Jennifer Lawrence and how good of an actor she is. But just like realizing that people are capable of just toying with people for amusement. Like, I don't know, she has that realization. She's doing it to the cat, like making a monkey dance for entertainment or some sort of strategic position. It's just like a great moment of revelation for her character. Like, she knew it, but she was like, oh shit, it's this easy to fall into this. Like, it's, I don't know. What did you pick up on?
I saw a cat chasing a light.
No, but she says it. Like, she says that it meant something.
Yeah, I know. I was being facetious.
I see.
Yeah, no. I don't really have anything to add to that. What you said is pretty much sums it up. But yeah, it's a good visualization, as it were.
Yeah. This also might be more of a reach. But there's like, I don't know, there's something about Katniss going back for Peter the same way that like Katniss is willing to just like jump straight into the Capitol building, the Victor building, whatever it's called, and just like throw everything away for Peter, like potentially getting them both killed, but she at least wants to try. And I just think there's like a parallel there with like Prim going back for the cat and just like something that's like feeble and defenseless needing someone to save it. I don't know.
Burn on Peter.
No, but he is like a little frail cat, isn't he? By the end of it, like he's fucked up. He needs help.
Okay.
He's not fighting his way out of that, is he?
Well, look, these things are open to interpretations. You can definitely interpret them however you like. So yeah, interesting is all I'll say to that one.
Oh no, come on! I'm not beefing Peter. I'm just saying.
Okay, no, fair enough. We all have our own interpretation of films, and you know.
I feel like that's somewhat normal. Now I feel really insecure about it.
Did we watch a different movie? Katniss doesn't go to rescue him. What are you talking about?
No, but she wants to, doesn't she? She's when she finds out that she doesn't know that it's already happening when she finds out about it, and she's like, off I go, and Haymitch is like, it's already done, man. Like the people are out now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like she wants to go, and from like minute one of the movie, she's like, when are we doing this? Can we get this done now? It's my only term. So like, she wants to. She would.
Can I introduce a quick segment of Nathan Nitpicks a Thing?
I would love you to.
Jeffrey Wright is like every technical job in this fucking base for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's also weapons manufacturing. And he makes Katniss a bow and arrow initially for like just the propos, but he like makes her every one because he knows like it's what she'll want and stuff. And he makes a series of arrows. You got regular, incendiary, and then explosive. And so she knows which one's which. He's color coded them: black, yellow, and red.
Yeah,
red for explosive. And they're color coded on the tips of the arrows, on the back of the arrows, and then those arrows are put on her back behind her where she cannot see them. How does she know which ones she's picking out?
Yeah, I mean, this is a archers in movies tale as old as time, isn't it? Like, how do any of them know anything about what they're grabbing?
Well, usually they're not grabbing different types of arrows, are they?
Well, but like archers
They're
in
just
movies,
arrows.
like Hawkeye's got different arrows and shit, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's got a little switchy thing, doesn't he?
Oh, he does have a switch. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, he can like select his USB arrow whenever he wants to.
Fucking outrageous, that is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, you do raise a good point. Maybe there's just a lot of like stuff that was cut out of just Jennifer Lawrence fumbling the arrow type. Just like, I don't know. Katniss probably fucks it up a few times. She's like, oh fuck, I meant to blow them up. Oh well, whatever.
In the second movie, she's using that bow and arrow quite a bit, and it seems like every shot she takes is a fucking explosive shot.
Yeah, that's kind of like,
even if like her enemy is like 2 feet in front of her, she'll like throw a fucking explosive shot right at their face, and just like, well, suffer the consequences, I guess.
Her enemy's like holding like 4 kids and a box of puppies hostage, and she's like, "I'll blow him up. I've got this." Oh, it's the finale movie. They had to go out big.
Great. Anyway, that was Nathan Nitpick's thing.
I enjoyed Nathan Nitpick's thing. Speaking of the rescue mission for Peter, who is in my eyes akin to a frail cat, Finnick's speech, his mission is to basically just keep talking so that they can cover up everything going on.
So I said the song "Damn" attack sequence was the best scene in the movie. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was the best scene in the movie, because this was fucking good.
It's such a good fucking scene, right?
It's such a good scene. Finnick's speech intercut with the mission, the fucking breach into the Capitol, into the training building or whatever. It's so well done, and it's so tense and so dramatic all the way throughout. The way fucking whatever his name is, Sam fucking Chapman or whatever, the way he's fucking delivering that speech, and it's so good. All of it is so well done. I love that scene so much.
It's all really well executed, and like also just like I really respect the balls on because like a blockbuster entertainment movie for its entire third act to be a stealth mission and a speech.
Yeah,
it's like brilliant. I mean, not the entire third act, like the climax of the movie is that. And the speech also, like, it reveals some stuff that we didn't know. Like, Finnick was like sold, essentially, like his body was sold,
prostituted.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know. It just adds
grim.
Yeah, it's fucked, and like there's a whole grimness and a whole element that we like. When we thought they couldn't get any more despicable, he's like he does his tell-all piece, and it's just like, oh shit. And I don't know. Maybe it's something about the performance, or the way like Finnick as a character plays that speech. There's a smugness to it. Like he's happy to tell everyone all the horrible things that happen to him because he wants to expose them. If that makes sense.
How old was Finnick when he won his games? Wasn't he like 14 or something?
I think he was supposed to be like 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
He won. I think they said he won the 65th, and he's like late 20s. I think he's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, they just had the 75th. The 75th was the quarter quell, wasn't it?
So it would have been.
So So around about 14, I think he would have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, around about 14, and then President Snow's like, "Oh, you're desirable. People like you." That's pretty fucking grim.
Yeah, I know. Like, and obviously the implication is like he's not the only one that's happened to.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kind of disgusting, and I just love the way that they're like all of that is intercut, and like every single they put that stealth mission, that little like SWAT team that goes in.
Yeah,
they put them through so many doors that I'm like, ah! Like they do like the whole breach and clear thing on every door, and every single door they open, I'm like, oh my god, is this the one? And it's fucked. It's.
And then there's the moment where all the lights come on and everything. You're like, oh shit, they're gonna get caught. They're gonna get fucking shot, and then it's just like, oh, we're back. Like, what? Did I miss something? We're back.
Yeah. And it's that bit where like Katniss sees Gale, and like everyone's happy that they're back, and Gale's like, something's fucked here. Something is fucked. The whole nature of like,
easy.
He was like, all the guns were back on us, and they just let us leave.
Yeah.
Which is real, and like Snow's eerie line, like how it's the things you love the most that can hurt you.
Yeah.
And like, obviously that's alluding to Peter, which was a pretty like, it was more torturous for Peter because like. He's obviously not going to get within an inch of Katniss. Like, he did, but then he was immediately just knocked out.
He had a good fucking go.
He did have a good go. Actually, saying that, maybe I should rethink my calling him a feeble cat.
Exactly.
Given that, like, he practically broke Katniss's neck in two almost.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But yeah, no, good, great sequence. Just really, really tense. Had me like proper on the edge of my seat throughout the entire thing.
I bet it did.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Didn't even make any sense.
No, I didn't. Shout out to this movie for giving my favorite character, Joanna, 10 fucking seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. It's a bit fucked. And then just also completely vilifying her in the second one as well.
Yes. Not fully.
She's on the wrong side of history, is what I'm saying. You can understand why. But, like, I don't know. If that vote ever comes out, she's not going to be everyone's favourite, I think. Like, I get why. I do get why. And I get that, like, you know, in that scenario, your emotions are going to take over and you're going to vote with, like...
I mean, she votes the same way your hero Katniss did.
Yeah, but Katniss votes that way to get a bow in her hand.
I'm aware. I'm aware, Lawrence. Look, don't ever disrespect my girl, Joanna, okay?
I'm not.
Yeah, you better not.
I'm not. I like Joanna. I think Joanna's great.
You're next on my hit list after Foggy.
No, okay, fine. Well, Foggy outrun a hell of a lot in this, so you'll be chasing him for some time.
I do love the moment when they get back from the Capitol and Joanna's there. She's got a big bald head and she just has that wicked smirk on her face, like, fuck yeah, I'm Joanna. I'm here to fuck shit up again. And then it just cuts away from her and we never see her again.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame how little she's in this.
I know. I love her.
I do think it's wild that they had another victor of the Hunger Games that didn't come on the mission for some reason. Like,
yeah. I'm not sure why. It does seem quite odd. Anyway, shout out to Hunger Games Part 1. Peter tries to kill Katniss. He chokes her. Look, boys. Or girls. Anyone, all right? You say your partner, you want to do some experiment and you want to try something new. Maybe you want to introduce a little bit of choking, okay? Look, that's absolutely fine, okay? And it can be very fun, all right? You have to know how to do it right, okay? You don't want to just fully fucking squeeze the throat and cause that person permanent damage, a la what happens here to Katniss, all right? This is what not to do, okay? So avoid this completely. You want to get a light squeeze on the side, okay? You don't want to press your whole palm in and just fully destroy their throat, okay? It's a nice little squeeze on the side, and it's fun for all, okay? That's all I'm saying.
It's not fun for me.
It's very fun for you.
What?
Anyway, it was an educational moment with myself.
Thank you for that. Mockingjay Part 2. Me too. Pretend I did a flawless whistle as well.
You didn't. You can't whistle.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
We never talked about Gale.
Yeah, we didn't. I got some stuff on Gale in this a bit later.
All right, well, we'll fuck him, man. Mockingjay Part 2.
Yes. Not my favourite movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think it's the weakest.
It's I mean, as a whole, it's my least favorite book. It's my least favorite story of the three as a whole. And I think the whole phenomenon of final book, 2 movies. It's never the best decision really, because then you're just left with 2 halves of one movie.
Yeah,
2 very long halves of one movie.
Yeah.
You're left with like the first 2 acts in one movie, and then you're just left with a whole movie of a 3rd act, which is just like fucking Deathly Hallows Part 2. That's just the whole thing. It was fucking Battle of Hogwarts, man. And it's like, fucking hell, I get it. All right, like, yeah, come on, man.
It's like there are people that like that, but it's always at the expense of like the movie is just so badly paced, and like so often people will just be like, I don't want to watch the first part. Let's get to the good part. Yeah, and it's like you're missing a lot of the emotional setup and everything else, because you're just watching. It's a weird convention of watching one movie. It's like if I turned on any other movie and just skipped to the halfway point and went, here's where I'll pick it up from, I think. And it's a shame, right? Because like these 2 movies would have told one great cut down story.
Yeah,
and like because Part 2. Apart from like the ending not just the ending, but like apart from the whole like realizing that like no matter who is in charge of Panem to a degree, or like if we keep just letting whoever won the war choose who is the president, like once you cut out all those like dictator stuff, it's just a lot of fluff.
Well, you see, I'd even argue that like it is a lot of fluff, but then on the flip side, I think some stuff as well just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
As well, though, I think there are some moments where it's like, well, like the whole thing, the whole point of like Mockingjay, just the whole story is like, oh, it's the big war. The war is here. The revolution begins and stuff, and then it's just like, yeah, the revolution kind of begins, and then it's like, oh, now it's over.
Yeah.
The war is won. And it's all just like, well, this was all very quick, wasn't it? It was all just like, it was like a big, long struggle, a big, long battle, and then just suddenly, oh, and we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
All it took was for us to get to the gates, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It was just I don't know, a little bit jarring. I don't know if that's necessarily Suzanne Collins or if it's an issue with the movie, but I don't know. It seems odd, is all I say.
I think there's another element as well of like, I get why the pivot to Coin being the kind of puppet master of the last movie was kind of brought up. They needed to show that Panem wasn't just going to fall to this shit all over again.
Yes.
I get that, but then I also think that came at the expense of like, I for 3 movies I've wanted to see Snow eat shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think I got that properly.
You see, this is we're kind of skipping ahead to the end a little bit here.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with like what happened with Snow. I'm okay with it being the people who got him. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What I don't necessarily like is this kind of pivot, this kind of switch around where it's like, oh, actually, the revolution is worse than the capital. Really, actually, she's just as bad. It's very interesting to have a story where, like, you know, the leader isn't necessarily who you thought she was, and, you know, the hero you looked up to is kind of all just in it for herself. That's interesting. But it also just kind of leaves a bit of a centrist taste in my mouth, just a bit like, well, actually, both sides are not that great. You know, it just there's a little bit of that which I just can't quite forget about it, really.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not necessarily saying that, but it's because it still does definitely lean to one side. But it's just a little bit, well, you know, they're both as bad as each other, and like they're not. Like, yes, Coin is not great and not a good person, and by the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, kill her, fucking get rid of her.
Yeah.
But it's still just like, it seems like a very, like the whole thing was like, all 3 movies we've been like, fucking Snow's the worst, Snow's an absolute cunt, we gotta get rid of Snow. And then it was just suddenly, oh, actually, no, I'm worse than Snow. Out of nowhere, really.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say it comes necessarily out of nowhere, but I do... I take your point on it being like...
I think it does. It seems like... Because even in like... Yes, there's shades of Coin which is not necessarily as fucking bright and shining as you want her to be. But it's like as soon as the war is won and she's like... She's like, oh, I've declared myself president now, and now we're going to do our own Hunger Games and all. It's just a very quick turn, really. It's like we were saying last week about the mask being off with the Capitol.
Yeah.
It was like Coin's mask was immediately off, like the second the war was over, really.
But yeah,
and she had full on. She tipped into full on dictator mode like immediately.
See, I get that, and I do see, because I do think it is sudden as well, but like I do think that there are things that lead up to that. Like I think, I don't know. I think it's akin, maybe with less nuance because it's missing 2 of the movies for a setup. But like, there's like shades of like the Emperor from like the prequels and stuff. Like there's shades of once the mask has slipped and once he's in power, there's no point being around the bush. No one's gonna stop me. Like what's the point in tiptoeing? I've won.
Well, that's not necessarily the case.
What, for this, or?
Well, no, with Star Wars. He's not like, I'm the Emperor, I'm evil now, you're all under my thumb. He's like, I'm the Emperor, I'm your friend.
But I think there's a part of that with Coin when Coin's like, this is look this Hunger Games with all the capital officials' children. Like, it's the way that we can satisfy bloodlust with the least amount of killing possible. That's obviously a thinly veiled excuse for her just wanting to like be like, I'll do a Hunger Games as well. Fuck you. Like,
but that scene though, I don't think there's any interpretation of that scene where anyone's like, yeah, she's got a point. It's very clearly like, no, that's fucked up. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it, or whatever the quote is. It's very much that kind of vibe.
Yeah, no, it's a tricky one, and I think maybe if the movie dedicated more time to that, it would be less jarring. I do think there are like certain things, but you're right. It's almost like a little bit and then full steam right at the end, rather than a steady build up. Like, there's little things like just like the way that she refers to like Katniss going off on her own as like insubordination, and it's like, calm down.
Yeah,
like using big words like that, it like, I mean, I know insubordination's not a big fucking word, but like using
I was gonna say it's not really that big.
No, but like using a loaded term like that when
Yeah.
you're running a revolution, like, it's not insubordination. It's her just going off and doing something. Like, it's
making a choice.
yeah, exactly. But like her choosing to kind of display it like that, I don't know. It is sudden. I do see what you're saying.
I just think the pacing of this movie is just all off, really.
Yeah.
I think this movie's very badly paced. Like, quite badly. Also, like, what I remember from all the, like, I think even the poster on Netflix, it's got, like, Jennifer Lawrence in, like, a red version of her Mockingjay suit, and that
Such
was all,
a good
like...
poster, man.
But, like, that wasn't in the movie.
No, I know. It's a symbolic thing, isn't it? But, yeah.
I want to see that, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I wanted to see it too. It does look cool. And
the whole movie, I was like, yeah, where's this red suit? Let's go, Katniss.
when's she gonna paint it, or is it the blood of the Capitol? Who knows?
Also, right, I want to know if this was just me, because when I was watching it on Netflix last night, it was doing something really weird, and I thought it was maybe just my TV, but then I put like another thing on Netflix and it was fine. So I don't know what it was, but it was framed very weird, because it's in like the is it 2x3, the letterbox format? Is that what it is?
It's something like that. It's referred to as cinema scope, which
whatever.
fucking
Nerd, you fucking stupid cinema cunt.
But that's the main aspect ratio. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Your fucking cinema sins scope or whatever you fucking watch. It was that, all right, but it wasn't centered.
Yeah, it was shunted up, right?
Yeah, was it the same for you?
Yeah, I was going to text you about this, but then I figured it was probably just our TV, because now it's troublesome because we have the same TV. We can never compare these things.
That's true, so we still don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't have an answer on that one, folks, but we'll get back to you with the important stuff.
It was weird, though, because like for the first 10 minutes, it was really pissing me off. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? This is doing my head in.
Yeah.
But then...
I went off and then came back on it from the menu and it stayed the same. I was like, I guess this is what it is.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had subtitles on it first because I was eating crisps. So I thought it was there at first just to accommodate the subtitles. So I was like, oh, it's fine or whatever.
Oh, I see.
And then I turned the subtitles off, but it was still the same. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't like this. Yeah.
I love that. I had subtitles because I was eating crisps. That's great.
I was crunching, man.
Yeah, you got. That's true. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very funny. Yeah. No. It was a little bit weird, but yeah, I can't say if that's the same for other people. But yeah, I feel like I've never seen it before on anything else either.
No, me neither.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I also think there's elements of the love triangle in this movie that I'm just like, oh, shut up. Like, fuck off. It did nothing for me after a while.
Yeah, there was moments where I'm like, any time she like kisses Gale, I'm like, what's going on? This all just seems really just forced.
Yeah.
Now
She doesn't
really.
like
It just
Gale.
seems-
She doesn't love him.
No. Well, I don't know.
I think there's a clear-cut moment in this movie that when Gale tells Katniss that killing isn't personal, that's the moment he loses.
Isn't that the first movie?
No, second one. It's when they're on the mission. They're flying off and they're all dressed in their SWAT SEAL Team 6 outfits.
Isn't it? I thought it was at the hospital in the first movie.
No. It's this one. I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
It's on my part 2 notes, and I watch them on different days. So.
Oh, fair enough. I also watch them on different days.
Yeah, well, when I say I watch them on different days, I watched one at like midnight and then one at like 6 a.m. So.
Okay. I watched one Monday night, and then I watched one Tuesday night.
Ah, you've had a little breather, I see, to gather your thoughts. Oh yeah, I think that's the moment when he says killing isn't personal. It just like he loses.
Yeah, that scene was very much like you could very much see where like Katniss's point of view, like the people of the capital, they're not bad people necessarily. Like it's just the world they've been brought up in. They don't know any better.
Yeah,
it's not their fault they was born there. Just like it's not anyone's fault they were born in District 12. Really, if they're born into a world where they're favored, they didn't ask for that.
Yeah,
like yeah, sure, it's privilege and all that sort of stuff, but they're not bad because of that. Oh, this is getting muddled.
Well, no, but like I think what you're saying is right though. Like obviously it's a nuanced debate and there are perspectives that we could never talk on behalf of. But like,
especially you growing up in your council.
But there's like elements of it where Peter's saying stuff, right, and he's on all the speakers and stuff. I know this is in the first one. But Peter's saying stuff, and Gale's like, you could put a gun to my head, I would never say those things. And it's like, well, let's try that out then, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Because you haven't been in that position.
Yeah. It's very easy to say when you haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
Really.
And bearing in mind, Katniss has been through it like 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
She's probably like, dude, shut up, you telling me this.
Gale's very much like... I don't know. I found it a little strange that, like, I mean, I get it because it's Liam Hemsworth and he's a big guy or whatever, and he's like very handsome. But like, he's immediately like, I am a high command in the military, and I am an 18-year-old boy. He's very much like, oh yeah, he's one of the command. He's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, what? What's going on?
Yeah, and I love the movie tries to convince us he's 18. Man is 32 or whatever. He's like whatever he is in real life, he's not 18.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be a little bit older, like maybe 2021 or something, but still,
but still no.
Come on.
Yeah, I still don't buy that for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like that there are. I love that he grew up as like a hunter, and like now he is like very well. He spent like a weekend at District 13, and he's now extremely well versed in the art of fine combat. Like he's like going through doors as like Marines do and shit. And I'm like,
he's breaching and clearing. He's checking his corners.
Yeah, I'm like, who's this for, bro? Like, he's proper trying to impress Mahershala Ali's character as well. Like,
see, now there's a character I like.
Yeah, he's cool.
Mahershala Ali. He's very good. I like him. He seems to have like a not a soft spot for Katniss, but he just seems to be a nice guy. Really, like he's not one of the like dickheads of the revolution. Basically,
there's that lovely line where he says like, you need to. He doesn't outright say anything because he's like, I'm not committing treason, but like he's saying stuff like, ask yourself honestly what Coin needs from you now. Like the revolution has started. If you die, it is probably the best case scenario for her.
Yeah.
And like she really takes that in. He reminded me of like Haymitch when he's not around. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the surrogate. He's the word of wisdom. The word of wisdom that comes in.
Yeah.
And like kind of is the only one that can get through to her as well. And he has that brilliant line about how like he's not gonna let anything happen to her whilst he's in command, and she needs to have a long life. And she asks like, why? You don't even know me. And he's like, because you've earned it. Like he says like those, you've earned it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess she has actually. Yeah. Yeah, great character.
Mahershala Ali's great. He's a great actor.
Oh, he really is. Yeah, this was like, this was what 2015. This movie. This was like not his early days of his career, but like where he was starting to get picked up a bit more. I think, at this point.
Yeah. Definitely the biggest thing he'd done at this point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was in Luke Cage, wasn't he, as well? The Netflix Marvel
He
thing.
was, yeah. I think that was after this, though. Or around about the same time.
They probably filmed about the same time-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, cool. Great.
Very cool. I like, again, like, pacing is off and it fucks with it massively, but I do enjoy, like, obviously in the first two stories, I'm saying stories because the movie splits too, but like in the first two stories, we got the Hunger Games in the first one, and then we got, we're back to the Hunger Games with a quarter quell, and in this one it's like, it's not the Hunger Games, but it also kind of is.
Yeah.
We're going to bring the Hunger Games into the city, which is quite creative, quite fun, really.
I mean, just, again, it just speaks to, like, Snow. Just, like, he knows what the fuck he knows how to sell this. He's like, make people, like, these people that are storming the city, let's still make it a show and make people point and laugh at their deaths. He's like, let's infantile it, or infantilize it. What's that word?
Infantilize.
Yeah.
Infantilize?
I don't know. The word. Imagine I said it right, and that word.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, let's trivialize it. Let's make them look small and pathetic.
Yeah.
And he's fucking clever. Like, that's a good tactic.
He's very clever, yeah. And he's got, like, all these game makers at his disposal. Why not use them? Why not turn the city into a weapon?
Exactly.
Really?
He's evacuated it anyway.
I also think it's pretty clever from Suzanne Collins' point of view, because, like, I think a lot of the times with these, like, YA franchises and stuff, there's always a point, like, usually around the last one, where everything changes. For Harry Potter, it's like, oh, we're not at Hogwarts anymore.
Yeah,
We've been at Hogwarts for 1 to 7. Now we're not there. Oh, we're not in the Hunger Games anymore. Oh, we're not in the Maze Runner or whatever the fuck happens in that franchise. I haven't seen any of them.
We're now in the Maze Fast Walker. No.
Yeah. But there's always something about it which feels off.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you're used to. It's like it was when Harry Potter, like, there's a whole movie where they're running about the fucking woods or whatever, and you're like, what's going on here? This doesn't feel like Harry Potter.
Yeah. And also,
so
if it's like the same director carrying over, they're so used to doing it that they've forgotten how to make another movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cough,
So it's
David
definitely
fucking
interesting.
Yates. Cough.
Someone's got beef with David
I fucking
Yates.
hate David Yates. I think he's useless.
Burn on David Yates.
Oh, fuck. He knows what he did.
I think anyone involved with that franchise knows what they did.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, I just think it's clever to, like, kind of get around that issue, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're out of that scenario, but with his way, we can still kind of have it included. So
I think the thing that I take umbrage with in that, and this is kind of why I called it a bit of filler earlier, like, I do think there is, although I get why, like, it's threat, right? It's persistent threat. There are, like, mutts chasing them and, like, a flood coming. And, like,
speaking of the mutts, remember, like, when I said in the first one,
yes,
it's like that's what they were supposed to be, basically.
I see. Okay,
That's what was the finale of the first Hunger Games, really. Only they were supposed to look more like the people that had been killed.
Yeah, I remember you saying there was supposed to be, like, Rue's face stretched over one or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fucked. That's not good.
In this, they're more just like generic zombie monsters or whatever.
Yeah, we're literally, a horde of humanoid animal things.
Yeah, the point comes across.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But that, I do think there is an element missing of, like, you start to lose a grasp on, like, the humanity of it all, if that makes sense. Like, there's not anyone there to have a different point of view for a long time.
Yeah, that's true, because it's all just, like, traps and, like, this one will burn you, this one will drown you in a liquid and turn you into a fucking spike or whatever the fuck happens there. It was all just weird little things.
There was no, like, the moment, and I know this sounds stupid because of all those big threats, but the moment where they just have to run out of one of the city places to get to another place,
where they're just like, it's like they're just running out of a train station and been chased by the fucking peacekeepers.
Yeah.
It's like, that was the most interesting part of it all.
Exactly,
really.
yeah,
well,
and that's wild.
The mutts, maybe. The mutts was quite interesting, but
the mutts was interesting, but only when they killed someone.
Yeah,
and it was interesting because I cared about the person that was killed.
Like, here we go, my king, my soldier, my beautiful, beautiful boy. He was done so fucking dirty, man.
He was done very dirty, yeah.
Rest in peace to a true king if there ever was one, Finnick Odair, man.
Oh, you see him just before he gets pulled down, reaching for his little pill as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, bro.
What a fucking brutal way to go, man.
Yeah. Just got.
And he was doing so well. He was clearing them out.
Yeah.
He killed more fucking mutts than anyone.
That trope of like you know when the movie is like, I got to get everyone out, and it's like, you got to get out, bro. You're gonna die. You're like
Paz Vizsla in The Mandalorian season 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew
Just fucking
Garfield in the in one of those Doctor Who episodes he's in.
He doesn't die.
No, but he gets pulled down the stairs, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I stayed back to make sure everyone got up safe, and now I'm paying the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I but I just felt it weird that there was like that train station bit where they just like a couple of peacekeepers are shooting at them. That was the most entertained I'd been for like a solid 45 minutes.
Yeah.
In the movie, because you just look when everyone in the movie for a solid 45 uninterrupted minutes is just saying Snow sucks, doesn't he? I know.
Yeah.
I got it.
This is the thing. Again, I think it's the pacing.
Yeah.
It's like they have just too much time to play with. So they're like, oh, we got to make this longer. And it's just like, it's literally an hour of them just walking about the city and then be like, oh, shoot an arrow. Oh, there's a trap. Oh, we'll make camp here for the night. Let's have a little chat.
Yeah.
What do you think of Snow? I'm going to kill him. Well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And it's just that for an hour, basically. And it's just like, yeah, you really wanted to sell 2 tickets for everyone.
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Like,
You're just pulling this out as far as it can go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lack of tangibility to it. Like I don't care. I know I can't touch one of these mutts. So like,
I can't help but feel a little disappointed by the capital as well. Like,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Because it's just like, it's the capital. It's supposed to be like the most beautiful, grandiose city, you know, decadence and wealth and luxury and everything the capital has, everything all the districts don't. It's supposed to be the most fucking grandiose, beautiful thing. And I think they leaned too much into the fact that, well, it's a war zone, so we've got to make it look shit. And like, they do, but it like, I don't know, it looks like fucking, you see footage of Ukraine and it looks like that. And it's like, I don't think the capital should look like that. Even like, yeah, the buildings are a little bit wrecked, but the buildings are still like tower blocks of flats.
Yeah.
And it's like brutalist architecture. And it's like, this is what the capital are living in. Like, it's not like glass buildings and fucking
It should
exotic
feel more
materials.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of shit, shouldn't it? Like,
it should feel sleek and futuristic rather than just like brutalist.
Yeah.
Really. It's all just grey stone, which I don't necessarily get the vibe that the capital should be like that, really.
I feel like it's all expensive streets in London. Like, just
Not even that, because even that gives off like wealth and privilege. But like this, I'd say it's more like fucking, like again, like fucking Eastern European, like Ukraine and Pripyat and all that sort of stuff. It's very much that kind of vibe, but like war torn.
It shouldn't even be that war torn, should it? Like, aren't these like the first wave that have stormed the capital?
Kind of, yeah.
So like, it shouldn't be this fucked.
Yeah, but it's pretty empty as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no,
Also,
but-
like give us some like clothes on the floor, something that shows
Yeah.
people have evacuated quickly. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I do see what you mean. It's a lot of walking through empty, derelict streets that don't give off the like. When you look at all those houses, I cannot imagine
Yeah.
Caesar Flickerman living in one.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, it's supposed to be decadence upon decadence, and it's just like, oh, that looks like a block of council estate flats.
Yeah, they go into the
fucking-
stairs at one point, and I'm like, this is bleak. This is boring.
Yeah,
Like, I just don't believe that all these people with fancy wigs and stylish beards and stuff would live there.
yeah, me neither. I just don't buy it. I do not buy it. I do like the scene where they're like, oh, come to President Snow's gaff and we'll all be safe, and then Katniss and Gale have to like make their way through the crowd and stuff. That's a quite good, quite tense scene.
I like that scene. That's a very good scene. I like that. Like they're pulling people's hoods down. I'm like, what were you expecting?
Yeah.
They're not just letting anyone roll in. Like, they are still looking for the most wanted people. But I like that they see that the people are being ID checked and they like turn around.
Just quietly turn around.
Yeah, but then they see more people coming and like turn around again. And you just see Gale like reach for a gun and it's like, what is gonna happen here? Like,
it's very tense and very, very fun. I like that scene a lot.
yeah, and they are quite literally saved by the bell. Like,
yeah, quite literally. And then it's just fucking horrific, really.
Yeah, do you want to this has been way more all over the shop this episode, but like the back end of this, but we're now just kind of the movie is doing a hard job of like wrapping up its theme, so we're trying to copy that vibe. Before we talk about the bomb,
yes,
do you want to I was going to say earlier on the love triangle stuff, there's a scene that I just wish was cut, and it's
okay.
There's a scene where they believe Katniss is asleep, and at first it was at first like Peter passes Gale something, I think, to like clean a wound, and he's like, thanks, and they sit down, and I thought they were going to have the obligatory they bro it out at the end moment, and it just like it became like them just kind of clapping at each other and being like, well, that kiss meant nothing, and he's like, well, I never got a kissy wissy like that one, and it's like, boys, bigger fucking things, perspective, please.
Well, yeah, there's that. But the thing I don't like about that scene is it's so just like fucking. It fully commits to the love triangle, which is the worst part. Yeah, I think I
feel like it commits more than Katniss commits.
It definitely does. It's like, well, she's got to pick one of us, so we'll wait and see which one she picks. And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, man! Can you just not like? Like you said, there really is fucking bigger things at stake. We're fighting a war. This is for like the future of the entire fucking nation, and they're just like, which one of us is gonna be her boyfriend? Oh, like fucking hell.
I'll be honest, right? You two should be talking about the fact that neither of you will be alive in 6 hours.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's more likely than either one of you being a boyfriend.
And you're both gonna die virgins.
Oh yeah. Nah, Gale's fucked. Gale's definitely fucked.
No.
But then he's a family man, isn't he? When he's not with Katniss, he's looking after everyone.
I don't think there's anyone in 12 who would have thought. It'd have been like, no, I love Katniss too much.
Yeah, true. And everyone in 12 talks. Is like, I can't fuck anyone unless because I might get back to Katniss.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, interesting. Right. Anyway, the bomb.
The bombs.
Yeah, the bombs.
The bombs. Beautiful little scene of the way that like the plane comes in and like the little packages drop, like the little gifts in the Hunger Games and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just like this eerie silence, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's all this? Is it package? Is it refugee food? Is it a little snack for my little tummy one?" No, it's a bomb. It's a bomb, and it's gonna kill you.
Yep.
Yeah, brutal. Pretty brutal.
When they go off, they just go off as well. You're like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's fucking, and that is a crowd of children. That is like they make a point to be like, all the kids come over here in this one little area. All the kids, grab the kids, put them all over here, all in one nice big area, all together. Now let's dump a shitload of bombs on these kids. It's pretty fucking rough.
It's one of them where it's like it's like, I don't know, if you buy that Coin, like if you buy that Coin as a character could have done this, and I do, and I know I buy that her as a character could have done it. I mean, in the sense that like if the movie pulls it off for you, then it's brutal, and it's a moment where the wool's been pulled over your eyes and you go, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work for you, it's just kind of this like this cavalcade of stupidity, basically. Like,
it works for me.
Yeah, I see it and I like it, and I don't know, there's just an element of like, my god, the stars really aligned in the war zone for you, didn't they? If you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's more just. It's a movie.
It's a movie. Whatever. Like,
yeah.
But yeah,
like the stars aligned for Katniss when like she was about to get her hood pulled down and then the missile comes in or whatever. Like,
yeah,
It's a movie.
It's
It's
a-
dramatic tension,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a tension reliever.
Yeah, exactly.
I do wish that they would have treated Pym's death as a bit more.
Prim.
What did I say?
Pim.
I'm thinking of my own holiday.
Like the drink.
Yeah, gonna be having Pyms in the sun in England when it won't be sunny. Yeah, no, I wish they would have treated her death as a bit more impactful than it was.
I do too. It's very odd because like
The franchise started
it's-
because of saving her.
you see, it's strange because I think it does, but it's just not immediate. That's the thing. Like it's very much like Prim dies in an explosion. Spoiler alert: there's a bomb, and then it's just like not addressed for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, and like
It's
her mum's on camera, and like her mum's
it's
in the
like-
scene. I'm like, you don't seem like you give a shit either.
It's like the war's over. Oh, and now we live at this building where Snow lived. Oh, and now I'm talking to Snow. Snow said rest in peace to your sister. All right, I guess I kind of acknowledged it. All right, let's move along. That was brushed over pretty quick. It's not really addressed until Katniss goes back to 12, really, fully. And then we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the moment itself, it's brushed aside pretty quickly. I think it's brutal. And I think it's awful what happens. And I think, yeah, like you say, it all started with Prim and the fact that we got to this point and the reason this whole began because of her, it now, I guess the Katniss would feel like it's what was the point of anything, really, which would be fucking brutal to deal with. Go on, you talk about it and then we can talk about the 12 stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It does feel largely dismissed, and I wish that it had more of an impact, given like what you said about it's where the series starts. It should deal out that issue of like the reason Katniss got involved in this fight is to save those closest to her, and then unwillingly she became a symbol for a larger movement that got carried away.
Yeah.
Like she didn't ever try and spark a rebellion. It just happened because she was an unwilling leader and didn't realize that she had it in her to lead. And I don't know, there's just an element of like the fact that then Prim still ends up dead anyway. It should weigh on her more. It should hit Katniss harder than it does.
See, here's the thing. I think it does. I think we do see it again. It's just not an instant thing. It's just not. It's delayed gratification. You know, it's not that instant hit. And I think again, there's an issue with the pacing of the movie because again, it is quite badly paced. Where we will go. It's just like they almost went. Oh, we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that in about 10 minutes or so. Just put that there. And now let's get rid of Snow. Let's get rid of Coin. Whatever. Let's wrap this up, and then we can deal with it.
Well, yeah, because the film. For 2 hours, the film does not much, and then in the last 15 minutes, it's like
it does. So
it's
much
like
in the
Coin's
last,
turn to the dark side, Coin's death, the payoff for Snow and vilifying Snow in the last bit, and then Snow dying, Prim dying, Gale perhaps having something to do with it. Like it saves all of its meat for the last 15 minutes of the movie.
It's badly paced, is what we're getting at. If
Yeah.
there's anything to take away from this episode, is that Mockingjay Part 2 is badly paced.
Yes.
But whatever. Now, okay, Lawrence, I've been talking about it. I've been alluding it to the whole episode. Cat talk.
Time for some cat talk.
Time for some cat lore, if there ever was any.
Yes.
All right, look. Prim died. Okay. And again, we don't necessarily get to see Katniss deal with it until when she goes back to 12 and when she fucking sees, is it Buttercup, the cat?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Buttercup. And this is the moment that fucking broke me. This truly fucking broke me, this moment. I hadn't cried at all during Mockingjay Part 2. Well, I was sad when Finnick died. I poured out my drink and I was very sad.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily cry. And I didn't cry when Prim died. But when the cat comes back, I fucking bawled like a baby, man. Jennifer Lawrence is so good in this scene.
Yeah.
The way she just fucking breaks down and explodes and just like attacks the cat, just throwing shit at it, just like, Prim's dead, fuck off, get out of here, you're not needed, go away. And it's just, it's brutal. So the thing with the cat, okay, I don't think this is touched upon in the first movie, but Katniss and Buttercup fucking hate each other. All right, they're always at odds. I think it's touched upon a little because like I think you see in the first movie, Buttercup hisses at Katniss, and she'll probably like say something mean to it, like, "Oh, you cat" or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, they just don't like each other. In the book, it's obviously expanded upon, and basically what happened is when Prim was a little younger, she found Buttercup and brought it home. Obviously, they're a poor family; they're struggling to feed themselves, and ever practical Katniss was like, "You can't have this. This is just another mouth to feed. We don't have the fucking resources to take care of this or whatever."
Yeah.
And she actually tried to drown the cat. She tried to kill the cat to get rid of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but she stopped herself because she like realized how much it meant to Prim. She just saw like how happy it made Prim and stuff, and then she was like, "Fuck it, fine, keep the fucking cat, whatever. It'll keep you happy and stuff." And they've just had this kind of like animosity between them, like her and the cat. They've just had this hate relationship between them, and so just having Katniss having that fucking anger explode out of her at Cat and just throwing everything at her. But then just remembering that Prim fucking loved this cat more than anything, and she loved it so much that she went back in the fucking middle of a bomb raid to get it and all this sort of stuff. And then her just accepting the cat as well, it truly fucking broke me. I think this is the moment, like I say, where we get the reaction to Prim's death from Katniss. This is where we get the impact of what it meant to her, and it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I think, and it's really well presented.
I think there's an element of it as well that it's like I can forgive the pacing being a bit odd in the last kind of 15 minutes because like I like you say, ever practical Katniss is just like there is a component of her where she doesn't let shit get to her until stuff is wrapped up and done.
Yeah.
Like, so there is an element of like I can see that like when she finally touches like boots on the ground back at her home.
Yeah.
That's the moment where she goes, "Oh fuck, I can let some of this steam out now."
Yeah, that makes sense to me. She's like, I've still got a job to do. I can deal with that later. Right now, I need to kill Snow. I need to kill Coin. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. I also think that that's like, it's impossible to keep everything in an adaptation, but it sounds like some of the real dark shit they got rid of, for the movies.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the books are definitely a lot darker and a lot more intense. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Coin biting the arrow?
Right decision. Again, we've talked a little bit about like what it all means and stuff and everything like that. But yeah, I like that Katniss like again voted yes to the Hunger Games basically to kill her.
Yeah,
like
she plays the game. She finally remembers how to play the fucking game.
Yeah, she plays the game, and Haymitch as well. Haymitch has always been like, I don't know, like there for he's always been in Katniss's corner.
Yeah,
really. Like even if he is, he'll act reluctant about it. He never is reluctant, but he'll act it. And his vote is purely for her at that point, really.
Oh yeah,
because like he like figures out and shit.
He sees. I don't even think he necessarily sees what she's doing, but he sees that she's doing something.
He knows that like she wants something, and he's like, well, whatever the fuck it is, let's see where this goes or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that, and it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. She, like I say, when she says let's do a Hunger Games, I'm just like, nah, go on, fucking get rid of her straight away.
Yeah. It's straight out the gate. It kind of also like the vibes are off from the second everyone's in that office when she's like, "I've declared myself interim president," and Haymitch just laughs and he's like, "How long's that going to be for?" And she's like, "Well, the people are too emotional right now," and it's like, "Yeah, you love it."
Yeah, that is very Palpatine. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That is very well. I need to hold on to my power for a little bit, so let's
think of what's best
chill.
for the people.
Yeah, exactly. At this time of war,
how can I possibly? This isn't about me. This is bigger than me.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, what a fucking I'll say rude words. Yeah, I like the end. I just like the I tell you what, the only thing I don't really like is that, like I say, I just wanted that one extra bit of satisfaction from Snow's death. I like that Katniss is being dragged away, and you can just see her start to smile watching Snow die. I do like that. I just wish that there was like, I don't know. I don't know what I wanted, but it wasn't quite what I got, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like I say, I'm all right with the people killing him.
Yeah.
Because it's the people who he fucking inflicted pain upon for so long.
I'll tell you, the way it feels to me, and again, not to keep bringing up this this franchise, but when Voldemort dies in Deathly Hallows Part 2, in the books, there's a big conversation about how Harry one-upped Voldemort. Yeah. And as they like pace around, everyone at Hogwarts, everyone is there watching this final duel take place. And when Voldemort dies, there's a big fanfare about how like I think there's a line about Harry doesn't know whose hands were on him first, but suddenly it felt like everyone was embracing him. And in the movie, it ends up like they just fight on like the little courtyard. No one gets to see it, and they don't say a word to each other. And so that was kind of, I just felt let down on that front by this movie. I just wish there was like a final exchanging of words that wasn't about Coin. Like the whole their last thing was talking about how they were too focused on each other to see what Coin was really planning and what she was up to. But I'm like, you still have the beef. You were still too focused on each other for a reason. So I just wanted to see that explored finally.
This is my whole thing about like Coin just suddenly coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just very, oh, and now I'm the real villain. Yeah.
Yeah, all along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Odd.
Anyway, Philip Seymour Hoffman is posthumously giving Katniss a letter.
Yes. Sadly, Philip Seymour Hoffman died. It was really close. It was like a week before filming ended or something. And they clearly had just like one scene, and they're like, "Oh, Woody Harrison, here, just read this or whatever."
Yeah,
that'll do.
And it's like it does come across in a little bit like, I mean, there are certain things that you can and can't do to avoid it. But like I like that in the letter is like, I can't be here. I've had to leave Panem forever. You'll never see me again.
I have to go now. My home planet.
Yeah, it's very much that. But then, like, again, it's what I was saying earlier. Like, he just gets away scot-free, doesn't he? Like, he just...
Oh, he never did anything.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah, maybe he did.
I think he stood by Snow's side and helped him kill many people.
Yeah.
For good reasons. But still did it.
That is true.
I think his sense...
I think true.
So many years of fake service and then he knows to do one thing, and that's all he can do. And I think his sense of himself is so thin that he doesn't really know what he's doing after that point. Once wartime is over and there's nothing to strategize anymore, I don't know if he has a purpose.
He sacrifices his soul for a sunset he'll never see.
Oh, God. R.I.P.
Indeed.
Very good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm satisfied enough. I wish it was better.
What about the ending with Katniss and babies and Peter?
I'll read my note verbatim.
Right.
I'm not sure we needed the flash forward, but Harry Potter did it, so I guess. I liked her uncertain future with Peter, and I think showing that she has kids after saying that she wouldn't have them is too indicative of her mindset after trauma. I would have rather they left us with something to think about.
God, you're a cynical cunt, aren't you?
Well, I am a little bit, yeah, because this is an incredibly cynical franchise. Like, I loved it when they got in bed and Peter said to her, "You love me, real or not?" And she said, "Real," and it was left there, and I like that. And then it's like, and now we have two babies, and I'm like, okay, I got that was probably going to go in that way, but a small part of me likes the ambiguous nature of like, were they ever happy? Did they ever?
What is it with you fucking film cunts and ambiguous endings?
No.
You're always like, oh, what if I don't know? What if I did know? All right? What if I like a happy little ending?
But it's not.
It's not happy?
No, it is.
A very peaceful life with a loving family? Oh, what a fucking tragedy.
No, it is a happy ending. For a movie franchise that is so bleak, I think an ending that fits better is one where there is hope and not certainty.
I disagree.
That's fine. It's preference. What do you right? So you like the ending then?
Yes, I like it. It's, like I say, I like happy ending. I think you're so cynical, and
It's not cynical. I just think it would have matched the tone of the franchise better.
you are cynical. I think the whole point of like a bleak and dour franchise is to have the happy ending. Not the whole point of it, obviously, but like a big part of it is to have a happy ending. It's a payoff. It's a bit of relief at the end and stuff. If it's just like, oh, maybe it worked out, I'd feel, I don't know,
No,
a little
I
shortchanged
think it worked
by
out.
that, I think.
It worked out where it needed to work out. The world is healing and in a better place. There's a president that actually cares for people and is genuine and a good person. The world has been saved. I just wish that the movie is very... the movie, all of these movies have always taught us that being a good person has horrible consequences. And the whole... we spoke about it earlier, the whole relationship with the two leads is a relationship built off of trauma in a way, and I just think that like thematically it would have fit the tone of the franchise better to end it in a place of we got what we could and we're content, but there's just that little bit of extra thinking.
No, I fully disagree with that. I think when you got a franchise that is so built upon dystopia and bleakness and just being in an absolute fucking dire situation, finding a way to overcome that, finding a way to overcome that trauma, and then at the end having a life which is so much happier and better in comparison, it's just nice.
That's fair.
And that's good to me.
That's fair. Like I say, it does come down to preference. Like you can't objectively say one thing is good or one thing is bad. That's the way I would have preferred it. But if you...
I can't say one thing is good and one thing is bad.
Oh, yes, I apologise. Nathan is the law on movies.
Yes, it is true.
All right.
One last little thing.
Okay.
Hamish gives Effie a little kiss.
He does. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Little mum and dad vibes.
Yeah.
There's Effie and Hamish there.
We didn't speak about Effie too much in these movies because I also think the movie largely forgets that she was in them.
The second one does. The first one not so much.
Yeah, she gets a little bit more to do in the first one.
Yeah,
I like that. By the end of it, she is able to she's back in the capital, but she's more fulfilled doing a role that she can sleep at night doing.
Yeah,
and she hasn't had to lose too much of herself. She still wants to wear her silly wigs and stuff.
yeah,
and it hasn't. She's come out the other side a much better person. And
I do like her acting like a prisoner in the first one.
Yeah, and and he's sliding the door across, being like, "You see, this goes both ways. You can open this from inside if you want."
Yeah,
I do like that. I just like that it must be such a culture shock to her of being like, "Whoa, what's this?"
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah, good little kiss. I like that.
Overall, good franchise. Kind of wobbles at the landing, but for the most part, pretty good.
Starts really strong. It's serviceable enough to still have a very good time watching it all through.
I am looking forward to reading and then watching The Hunger Games: A Ballad, A Songbird and Snakes, whatever that is about.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there. So
no, me neither.
I know that there's a young President Snow, and that's about it.
I know that there's a young Rachel
Ziegler, I think
Ziegler, well, whatever her name is. There's her, and I know that people on the internet don't like her for some reason because she's like, "Oh, Snow White's kind of dumb," and then they're like, "Well, fuck you."
Yeah, she said Snow White's dumb, and then 1,000 men got out of their chairs to remind us that they've always cared about Snow White.
Because it's their franchise and they love it.
Yeah, of course. And they hate Disney until they want Disney's values to be upheld. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I think it's basically when woman says anything, it's bad.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fuck all those fucking idiots. Nathan,
all your mates.
Let's do some recommendations.
All right, then. Hit me with your recommendation stick, Lawrence.
Here is my recommendation stick. I have been watching What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Ooh.
A good show, a good TV show based off of. There was a movie in 2014 of the same name.
Prove it.
Well, I don't need to. You can look it up.
I'm not going.
That's fine. I know it's there. So you'll have to trust me or live in ignorance.
I will live in ignorance.
That's fine. But yeah, good movie. But always was like, I think they've said this in like interviews and stuff. It always felt like there was so much potential. That was a movie that they shot fucking like 50 hours of movie, and they had to cut so much of it down for like the funniest bits. But they were like, the stuff that we got rid of, you could fill a TV show. So that's exactly what they did. They took those concepts, put it into a TV show, and it's a very good TV show, very well written, and some of the best comedic performances that I've seen.
Lovely.
Yeah, go check it out. I think it's on Disney Plus. It's also for some reason on BBC iPlayer, I think. Not sure what BBC iPlayer are doing, catching all these weird strays, but yeah. Yeah, go watch it. It's a fun little show.
I will not.
That's fine. Don't have to. Nathan, hit me with your recommendation stick.
Whatcha?
Ow.
There you are.
That felt like what?
A stick.
Tell me.
Tell you what.
Your recommendation.
Oh, okay. You should have asked.
I should have.
My recommendation is a holiday to Greece. No, it's not. It's not. I have a real one. My recommendation is a YouTube video that I watched today. Okay. It's a documentary. It is by Defunctland. Many people might have seen this. And it's about who wrote the Disney Channel theme song. The little tone that plays on the Disney Channel theme, basically.
Is that the one that goes dun 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 dun?
Yeah, that's the one.
I know it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you seen the documentary?
I have not seen it. No.
Okay, watch it, because it is seriously one of the best things I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half long, the video. But it is so well made from, like, first of all, like a filmmaking perspective. It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The fucking twists that it takes along the fucking documentary, the things that happen. I'm not going to spoil anything. I will say I did get a little bit emotional towards the end. Again, I don't want to spoil anything because of how the documentary turns out. I think it's so good. And by the end of it, there was a weird moment. Like, occasionally when I watch like something really good, I just like sit in silence at the end of it. Like certain movies that play, like as the credits come, I'm just there, just sat in silence, just processing it for a moment. The video had ended. It had like gone on to the like coming up next scene on YouTube, and I was just there for a good few seconds, just processing what I watched, because it is so good. It is one of the best things I've genuinely seen on YouTube in quite a while.
Okay.
And I had a really good time watching it. I definitely recommend it. Again, it's so well made. It's the guy Defunctland, I think his name's Kevin. He's such a good filmmaker, such a good documentarian. It's really, really good.
I think I've seen some of his stuff before, but I don't think I've ever sat down to watch something.
You'll have definitely seen some of his stuff like pop up on your recommended. They're very popular. Another big one he did was the history of like Disney Parks Fast Pass. And stuff like that. That one comes up quite a lot, and that's also very good.
It's either the origins of the Wilhelm scream or the Roblox death sound effect or something.
No, that's H-Bomber guy. That's another
okay.
one. That's someone else.
Yeah, there's a whole little club of them guys, just making like incredibly niche but somehow very hard hitting, impactful works.
It's genuinely amazing. Genuinely very good stuff. I had a great time with it.
Lovely stuff. All right. Well, I will check that out. That actually does sound very, very cool. And
I bet you don't.
Whilst I'm checking that out, what people at home can be doing, Nathan, is going over and giving us a little follow on our social medias on Twitter at Another Happy Pod, where new episodes of this show come out every single Friday at 10 a.m.
On Twitter?
They don't come out on Twitter, but they'll hear about them on Twitter.
Okay.
We'll do a little post. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. I'm really finding my footing back into it. And then also they can give us a little review on your podcast platform of choice. There is likely a little review thing where you can press 5 stars and maybe leave us a little comment. I think you can leave a comment on Apple. I don't think you can on Spotify. I think that's how it works.
I have no idea. I don't use Spotify.
That's fair. But yeah, do that. That'd be much appreciated. And then also while you're there, you can tweet at Nathan and ask him to tell you a bit more about the other podcasts that we do. Or I could just ask him now and save everyone sending a tweet.
Yeah, don't tweet me. Don't at me. But yes, you can at Still Got Legs Pod. Is that it? On Twitter? I don't fucking know. It has been a while, hasn't it?
It really has.
I think it's at Still Got Legs Pod. No, it is. Yeah, it's at Still Got Legs Pod on Twitter. And again, that's our other podcast where we talk about Doctor Who. What do I say? I don't know. So it's a podcast. There's a link below. Go listen to it. You can.
Yeah. And next week we're going to be doing this.
Brad,
Tammy,
Fender,
Brenda,
Sketch,
Shelly,
IQ,
Luann,
Joey, Mikey,
Vicky, Becky,
Vic, Jesse,
Darla,
Holly,
Noreen, Doreen.
and I'm Link.
Wahoo.
Wahoo!
Wahoo. It's not Mario.
It's
but
not
yes,
Mario.
Still sounds like a fun time. Either way, I reckon.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye. Is that it?
Yeah, you normally play the thing, I think.
Oh, yeah.